So on January 18th, 2015, I was a passenger on a motorcycle. A woman made a U-turn in front of us and we collided. The driver of the bike went through the car and broke his leg. I went over the woman's SUV and broke my back in 2 places. My ribs punctured my lungs, nicking my spinal cord, so my ribs paralyzed me. I coded twice and was resuscitated, and I have a traumatic brain injury. I live every day with the mindset that I am lucky to be alive because there was 2 chances that I could not be here. I spent 3 months in the hospital total. I actually spent a month, got to go home, got an infection in my intestines called C. diff, not a good time. Bounced back to the hospital, got to spend another month there, was discharged again, and hit the ground rolling. No pun intended, but really, I was on a plane the next week to the Boston Marathon. I was back to racing off-road in a custom side-by-side made by Polaris, and I was thinking I was going to recover. My parents enrolled me in this fancy clinical trial, and I'm like, oh, I'll be walking in no time, no big deal. And 6 months later, the other patients were seeing change, I wasn't. So I said, to hell with this walking, I'm over it. I'm going to live this wheel life the best of my ability. I dove head first into every adaptive sport out there. I snow skied, I water skied, rock climbing, hand cycling, both on and off-road, wheelchair mix, which was where you take your wheelchair to the skate park. I was racing off-road against all able-bodied people. I started competing in the Tough Mudder series, which is obstacle course racing. It's where I have a team of people that pull my wheelchair through mud, and then I go to all these obstacles and I pull myself through. And I started documenting it and sharing it. And I see people, they're like, you're just so inspiring, I could never do that. And I take a step back and I'm like, why? You're no different than me. I'm a T4 complete paraplegic. You guys, a lot of these people that were saying this have lower level injuries. I'm like, why? What is the issue? Where is the disconnect that people don't think they can live life? So then I created a nonprofit. It's called Wheel With Me. And the Wheel With Me Foundation is completely focused on building a transitional community for spinal cord injury patients. There's a huge, huge disconnect. Nothing against our PTs, doctors in the rehab hospital, but they're not giving you the mental skills you need to succeed after this injury. You leave the hospital and you think that, okay, I'm in this wheelchair, I can't do this, this, and this. And I'm going to give you an example. I have my journal from when I was injured, and I have a list of things I can't do that I'm pissed about. I can't stand up paddleboard. Well, since I sat on a paddleboard and I paddled my way around. I can't ride a dirt bike. Since I've been back on a dirt bike. I can't hike. I take my chair into the woods and I go enjoy nature, and I've camped by myself. I put the tent up and everything by myself. I can't get things for myself. This was the silliest one, because at the time I'm laying in bed and I can't transfer from point A to point B. I can literally get anything I want. It's just a matter of thinking outside the box and figuring it out. I'm like, I can't wake for it. I can't wake surf. I can't help my parents do simple chores. Cathing just pisses me off. Walking to my room, leg day at the gym, feel my toes in the sand, get into the ocean, drive, dance, sex. These were all things on my list that I wasn't educated about, that I have since done. You can do everything. There's nothing that you can't do, but you're just not educated about it. When you're in rehab, they kind of set limitations for you. And so it's a matter of really making that choice to be better. So then I was like, okay, 2017, I look in the mirror and I'm like, girl, you gotta get on a diet. You gotta do something. You gotta take care of yourself. So I changed my diet and I started exercising. And then I started looking for alternative medicines because I kept getting these infection after infection after infection. So I kept trying different things, met a low freak rep in the parking lot. of my rehab facility. And he's like, yeah, it has the salt coating on it. Here's a box, here's 2 boxes, try it for a month, see if it works. And I'm like, yeah, sure, nothing's worked up to this point. This isn't gonna work either. That catheter changed my life. I have not had a UTI, the intermittent catheter related UTI since. I've had a Foley since that caused it, but not this catheter. If you have recurrent UTIs, I totally recommend trying it. And then if you get UTIs and you're taking all these antibiotics, I became immune to Cipro, which is the most common antibiotic prescribed for a UTI. So I had to find natural remedies for it. I switched catheters. I started just testing different things that were on the internet, and I found a full natural remedy for a UTI because I made a choice to think outside the box. So, then they're like, well, I go out in public and nobody is considerate. Nobody's considerate of my needs, what I need. People are trying to help me too much when I don't need help, or they won't help me. People park in the parking spot I need. They don't understand. They're parking in the lines, and we're getting mad about society's ignorance to a wheelchair user. Rather than getting mad, we need to kindly educate. You know, we want to see a change in the world. Where does that start? It starts with you. You see something that you don't like, you vocalize it. You have to change. It's not going to change if you don't vocalize your feelings. You have to change it. When I was in the hospital, I really thought my life was over. I thought, this is it. I'm 22 years old and I thought of everything that I haven't done, I couldn't do. I had all this negativity that I was holding on to. Wow, what have I done? How did I get here? And as soon as I let go of that negativity and really focused on the positive in every negative, no matter how small it is. So I'm super incontinent and I have to wear pull-ups, but I'm small enough now that I fit children's pull-ups and they got cool designs. That's a positive and my negative, right? I mean, you have to wear it, but I have my positive. After I changed my diet, started exercising, seeing my body change, again, I was a T4 complete injury. I was told I would never walk again. I started crawling. I started regaining sensation. I got movement, and then there was a shift inside of me. I began mindful meditation, thinking about and filtering the thoughts that came in my head. And as soon as I would think something negative, I'm like, I can't do this. I would think, wait, no, I can do this. It's just I need to figure out what way works. I couldn't do a floor transfer. At one point, what most people know me for is my video crying and cussing on the floor, raw as I could be, so mad that I couldn't get back in my wheelchair. And I was stuck, and I had to rely on other people. But I pushed myself past that. I got back up, and then I'd fall again, and I got back up. It's a matter of not staying on the ground. You're gonna fall. It's a matter of how hard. But you have to pick yourself back up from that position, because no one's gonna help you while you're down there. They'll help you to get back up and move forward. So continue to keep that in mind. You have to have faith and patience for what's coming in the future. You have to keep your faith that the Lord has you. You got a plan. You just stay positive and stay on the road. And you need to focus on the good, and most importantly, believe in yourself. Because you can do anything that you set your mind to. Anything. That's not in that you looking at me, well, I mean, you can do it. That's easy for you to say. You're the one sitting up there with the mic. Yeah, I was sitting right where you were. I made the choice to be better, to be different. As long as you get up and you dust yourself off and you keep moving, think about it. A ship that it doesn't stay at shore. It's got to leave at some point. So if you stay within your comfort zone and within your limitations, you're never going to grow. You're never going to soar. I would never, there's not one day, I say this all the time, not a day goes by that I would ever take my accident back or undo this injury. not a day, and I say that with every ounce of my being, even on my worst days. 2 days ago, I was screaming and crying because I just didn't want to do it anymore, but never once did I say I would take this back, because it's given me my faith. I've met some of the most incredible people and have gained the most lifelong friends. The opportunities that it's brought me, the perspective and appreciation that you gain for life in general, and how precious it is and how quickly it can be taken away from you, that's irreplaceable. And I learned how, most importantly, to love myself. I love me on the inside, not who I see in the mirror. I love who I am. I found my passion of helping people and really what I want to do. When I was first injured, I was in the kitchen. I had a bad UTI. I had a bowl of uncooked egg whites on my lap. Pan was heating up. Had to wheel over to grab a paper towel. Legs spasm straight out. I flip over backwards. Egg whites go flying everywhere. The dish is broken. The pan's still on. I'm on my back. Have to grab my phone off the counter, grab it. Right as I go to call the neighbor, it's dead. Turn the stove off. At this point, I couldn't crawl, so I dragged my body 20 feet to the front door, open it, and I'm hanging out the front door going, help! Help me! And the neighbor just happened to be walking down the road, runs up the driveway, grabs her husband. He picks me up, goes to put me back in my chair. Oh, I forgot. I don't have pants on. I pee all over the floor. I could have stayed in that moment. I could have stayed in that, poor me, help me, I'm stuck. But it pushed me. You use your negativities to drive you. You always, always, always be grateful for what you have. There's always something to be grateful and be happy for. You always stay humble. We're all on our own paths. You don't know what that person next to you is suffering from, and you are in no place to judge them. You stay humble within your own journey, and you stay hungry. Stay hungry for life and to live it. Celebrate yourself every single day. Celebrate the beauty that you have within, the person that you are, and just be great. So I'm asking you guys, just wheel with me. Use your obstacles to live life to the absolute fullest. Thank you. And if anyone has any questions, I'm an open book.
You guys want to do a little